Okay, so a pleasant good afternoon to everyone. My name is Priscilla Liebert Calder. I'm the event coordinator here at the NJSBDC at Rutgers-Newark. And on behalf of Dr. Tendai Ndoro, the regional director, I would like to welcome you to our webinar on establishing business credit. For those of you who are not familiar with the SBDC, which stands for the Small Business Development Center, we are the premier provider of business training and consulting services to establish small businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs in New Jersey, but specifically to the county of Essex County, New Jersey. We are one of 12 centers in the NJSBDC network, with each center being responsible for one or multiple counties. Our center is hosted by the Rutgers Business School and funded through a partnership agreement between the United States Small Business Administration, Rutgers University, and the New Jersey Business Action Center. The mission of the SBDC is to help entrepreneurs and business owners start and grow successful, sustainable businesses. And we do this through offering one-on-one business consulting, training, and technical assistance programs. For the benefit of those attending today's webinar, audio has been muted. So we will be taking questions via the chat or the Q&A feature here on Zoom. So please feel free to post your questions and we'll do our best to respond at the end of the presentation. A copy of today's slides, along with a recording of the webinar, will be sent to only those who participate, and that will be sent out within 48 hours. Okay, so it's now my pleasure to introduce to you our presenter for today, Carmen Morris. Carmen is the founder and CEO of Business Mastery Consulting Services, as well as she's one of the SBDC consultant here at RNSBDC, primarily servicing established businesses. So without further ado, I'll turn today's presentation over to Carmen.
Thanks, Priscilla. Can everyone hear me clear? Can you hear me clear, Priscilla?
Yep, I hear you clearly.
Thank you very much. Welcome everyone to Establishing Business Credit. I will be discussing today a lot of key points and techniques that you can use to establish your business credit. I will be mainly speaking from my own experiences. So as Priscilla said, oh, my screen is not changing now. Just give me 1 second. Priscilla, do I have control?
Yes, try clicking down in the left-hand corner.
Okay. I have control, right?
Yep.
Okay. Is it moving on your end or no?
No.
Why am I not moving?
Let's try one more. Yeah, you have hosting privileges.
Okay, let me try to escape. Just bear with us 1 second, please. I guess technology is not on our side. Oh, there you go. I'm going to try to click down here and see if it moves. As Priscilla said, my name is Carmen Morris. I currently own 2 companies, Niviari and Associates, doing business as BMCS and also Niviari Global Trade. I'm also a curriculum coach and, for Partners Worldwide International. It's an international organization where we teach businesses in 32 countries. In the introduction, I'm going to be talking to you about all these key points about business credit. 90% of small businesses usually don't understand the process of building business credit, and are not even aware that business credit exists. So that this is the reason why many of us as small businesses don't take advantages of what is available to us and how we can separate business credit from our personal credit. So I'll be speaking about what is business credit, the process of building a strong business profile with the three main credit agencies that report, the three main business bureaus that report, that where your credit profile is, and that reports all of the things that your business does and all of the activities and credit that your business have. So your consumer business versus your business credit. The step to establishing it, understanding the business credit score, which is completely different than your consumer credit scores. It ranges from different numbers. So we're going to talk about these numbers. And I want to also to tell everyone that on Friday, I'm going to be covering personal credit, which some of the things that we would discuss today have a little bit to do with what I'll be discussing also on Friday. Understanding your credit scores, creating trade lines, and how important these trade lines to establishing your credit profile for your business. The three major credit agencies, how they do, what they do, and how they report, where they get their information from, how to work with vendors to establish your credit. And this is one of the things that we're going to discuss mainly today, where to get started. You can get started today just by doing 3 simple steps that I will be teaching you on this webinar. So let's go to the point of what is business credit. This is just the ability to obtain credit in the name of your business, not using your social security number or your personal information, but mainly building a profile for your tax ID number, using your tax ID number from your business instead of using your social security. Business credit ranges from 1 to 100. Whereas your personal consumer credit scores are between 300 and 850. And I'm going to explain these numbers and how important these numbers are and what is a perfect credit score in your business profile. Now, anything above 65% or 65-point credit score in your business profile with any of the 3 major credit reporting agencies, it's considered to be good. But to be a perfect number has to be above 75. And you're going to understand those numbers as we move along. The way you build these numbers is by creating what is called trade lines. You start with vendors who report to the 3 major credit agencies. Now these vendors, there's many vendors out there, and I'm going to give you a few that you can go to and you can start creating your accounts today. These vendors, you have to make sure that the vendor you choose to work with or the vendor that you are trying to create an account with reports to the agency. So you have to read their terms and conditions and what they do and how they report. Another trade line is your banks who have given you credit cards, or banks whom you have lines of credit. And these credit lines are created when you apply for this credit, but I'm going to give you the process of how you do this to create this credit line. You can get your credit, your business credit report from smartcreditbusinessreports.com. This is one of the websites that I use to obtain the credit report. You may not even know that you already have a credit profile with Equifax or Experian. One of these agencies, maybe a vendor may have reported some credit that you have had, some credit that you have obtained from their business, and you're not even aware that your credit profile has been already created. Now, this is the things that you need to do in order to start creating a credit profile, a strong credit profile for your business. Your business must be registered with the state, local authorities. Now, if you are already in business and your business is already registered, in order for you to register with the 3 major credit bureaus for business, you must have your business must already be in good standing, which means those yearly reports that you file every year for your business, make sure that you're caught up with them, because that also shows in your report. You get your federal tax ID number. your company telephone number. Now, many of you say, oh, but I have my cell phone number is what I use for my business. That's fine. You can use your cell phone number, but you must have a dedicated telephone number for your business that is listed as such, not as your personal cell phone number. And this is important. The reason I'm reading this is because in order for you to create a strong credit profile for your business from the beginning, these are all the things that are looked for. These are, and I'm going to discuss some of the red flags coming up on another slide. They look for the legitimacy of your business. Vendors and creditors also look for this. So when you're creating a business credit profile, is not the same as the personal credit profile that is created for you by Expedient, Equifax, and TransUnion. It's completely different, and you have to look legit when it comes to your business. Now, your professional email, it's one thing that every lender and the business bureaus look at when they create your profile. Your email should not be a Gmail or a Yahoo. It should be at yourdomainname.com. It should be a professional email. Make sure you have a domain name and a logo, a company logo, that when you go and create these profiles, all these things appear. Your business bank account, also the licenses that are required by any particular state or local government that pertains to your business. Some businesses, this may not apply to them, but some businesses do, and licenses and requirements are also one big thing about building a strong business profile. Your business address should be on all of the documents. It should be matched with the business address that you use for your telephone number. It should be the address that you use for your website. It should be the address that you use in all of your marketing material. These are all very, very important things that you need to start doing in order to create a strong business profile. I created this list here for you to check and see that you have all this before you go and create a business profile with one of the major credit bureaus. Now, these are the red flags that are looked at. Lenders don't like to lend to home-based businesses, but there's a way around this. Even vendors don't like to give credit to home-based businesses. So to make it easier on you, you have to make sure that your business address is legit. That is not, that if they ask you what is your home address and your business address, that is the same address. This should never happen, because it's a red flag to either the lender or the person who's trying to give you credit. Now, keep the information always looking legit. info@yourbusinessname.com. Use a virtual office. If you have your business, that you have a home-based business, I run a very successful operation from my home for over 25 years. But you can keep this looking very professional using different addresses and virtual offices. You can use Regis is one. I'm not endorsing any of this. I'm just giving you these names so that you know that these names are out there, and you can go and research them and see which one best works for you. If you're running your business from your home, you can use one of these offices so that you can have a physical office and not use your home address to show on any business application or when you're applying for credit. Incubators are also, or share space. Anyone who has an office that would like to share space, and you pay a monthly fee as you're doing Regis, and you can use a physical office. Do not use a personal mailbox as your business address. In fact, many vendors don't even allow it, and they even tell you up front that they will not accept a personal mailbox. Do not use UPS or the mailboxes at the post office. Stay away from sole proprietorship, partnerships, and DBAs. Let me explain. DBAs are doing business as. I have a DBA. My company name is Niviari and Associates. I do business under Business Mastery Consulting Service, which is BMCS. But I've had that for over 20 years. Now, if your business has been established that long, a DBA, it's fine. But lenders and vendors don't like to see DBAs. Sole proprietorship, they figure that, well, it's not as solid as having any other corporate structure that would give you a more solid foundation. They figure, oh, it's just doing a business under an individual. And partnerships, the reason you should stay away from partnerships is when applying for credit under a partnership is because normally the financials of the partners get brought into the application, and if the partner, the financials of the partners getting into the application, it becomes what is called a personal guarantee. So then it's not solid under your business, and it's not keeping you separate. And many partners don't like to disclose their personal financials to the other partners, even when they are in business. So let's talk about the fundamentals of consumer credit versus business credit. In consumer credit, you start building from the bottom, and just in business credit, it's the same way, the same exact way. You start from the bottom up. Consumer credit, you start building your credit and your credit profile, or even if your credit is what is considered bad and you want to increase your FICO score, and you want to take it to another level, you start by using secure credit cards, which are those credit cards that you deposit the money, and then the bank issues you a credit card based on the money that you have already deposited with them. Now, small credit limits, then that's the second step that you move on when you're on your personal consumer credit. When you're trying to build that, then you go to small credit cards, and then you do limits between 300, 200, 600, whatever the amount is. And then you move on to car loan, mortgages, and so on. You do not start applying for a mortgage when you have no other credit line, like secure credit cards or small limits or any other credit line. You don't go from top to bottom. You first start with the secure credit cards. This is what you do in consumer, for your consumer credit. So I want you to get the fundamental of how it works. You move from one step to the other, secure credit cards, small credit cards, and then car loans and mortgages. You move on to the large stuff. Now with business, it's the same way. The only difference in business credit, when you're building a business credit profile, the only difference is that you're going to start with vendor accounts. Vendor accounts are those vendors that give you credit based on net 30, 60, or 90 days. And that's how you start. Everyone, when it comes to this, it doesn't change for anyone. If you go to a bank and you're applying for any credit for your business, and you go get a mortgage or buy the property, the only way you will get it if it's attached to your personal credit, if you have not built your credit profile, business credit profile yet. So you start with vendors. That's the bottom line. You can go to vendors like Uline and Quill, and there's many, many others. Remember, this information that I'm giving you may not, some of these vendors may not be for you, but you can go research other vendors. I'm giving you the ones that I've worked with for many years and have worked very simple. And I'm going to tell you exactly how you're going to create these vendor accounts to start building your business credit profile. Then you move on to business credit cards. Now, in the industry of business credit, there is no secure business credit card. However, that I know of, I only know one bank, which is Wells Fargo, that if you have an account with them, they can issue you a secure credit card for, I believe it's $500 limit. And the only secure business credit card that I know of is Wells Fargo. There may be others out there, but I've never worked with them or I never heard of them. So remember, the vendor account, then the business credit card, revolving account. Once you have the vendor accounts already set up, then you apply for the business credit card. You don't have to use any personal guarantee. You don't have to give your social security number or anything. This is strictly information under your business name and your tax ID number. Then you apply for car loans and mortgages. One of the things where I became very experienced building business profile was when I was in the real estate industry for about 20 years. I used to own a Remax franchise, and I used to have investors come to me and talk to me how they wanted to invest this certain amount of money, and they never ever knew about building a business profile so that they can obtain the mortgage under the business name, not their personal name, their personal consumer credit. So they always supported the information that they provided the mortgage company under their personal information. And many times they got so loaded and got themselves in trouble with credit because they never separated their business mortgages from the personal mortgages. So I say this because this is the foundation. This is how you start. You always start in building your business credit. It's just like building your consumer credit. The only difference is that you're not going to start with a secure credit card unless you go to Wells Fargo, which is the only bank that I know of offers it. So you can start from the bottom: vendors, credit cards, then car loans or mortgages, lines of credit or big loans, SBA loans or whatever else is, but it comes in this order so that you can understand how to start building. So your company's liability must be separate, completely separate from your credit. And that you can do if you start doing it from the beginning. Or if you're already in business and you just never started creating a business profile, I'm going to show you in a minute exactly where you can go and how to do it. But try to stay away from using your social security or using your credit as a personal guarantee. There may be banks, let me just tell you this, some lenders may ask you to give them personal guarantee. But if the lender sees that you have a strong credit profile above 65, 75, 80, chances are that you can stand on your own. You can just go to another lender who would definitely provide you with the funds that you need. Now, these are the three major credit reporting agencies. Dun & Bradstreet, your DMB number. This is the mostly used in the industry. This is a number that is issued to you, and it is free to obtain. You may borrow with no personal guarantee. If you create a strong DMB a credit profile, any lender, this is the first one that they pull out in order to know what's your business credit score. You can go to dmb.com and get your free number. In fact, many government agencies require that you have a DMB number in order for them to process you and even put you on their platform. So this is how important this one is. Every business should understand and know how to have this number and understand how these reports, how to read this report and how it works to their benefit, to the benefit of their business. It is free. Remember, it is free to obtain. When you sign up for it, it takes about 10-15 minutes for you to do it, fill out the information that I went through before. Remember, everything must look legit from the beginning. Stay away from certain things. And this presentation is going to be available to you so that you can go over and see the things that you can do. So when you obtain this DMB number, the first thing they're going to do is that they're going to send you a whole lot of emails with all the services that they offer and things that you can buy. I tell you you should not buy anything that you don't need, and you do not need to purchase anything to build up the credit on your credit profile on their platform. So this agency, DMB, is the one that is the mostly used in the United States in every industry. Experian Business, they will assign you what is called a BIN number. This is a number, this is the second largest in the nation that is pulled when they're pulling your credit, your business credit. So you must at least have a vendor. Remember in the beginning, I said that many of you may have already a business profile created, and it may contain the wrong information about you, about your business, is because you probably have gotten credit with a vendor that has already reported to one of these agencies, with the exception of the DMB, because if you don't have a DMB number, they would not even post anything on your credit. But Experian will do it if a vendor just go ahead and reports any information on you, it becomes a trade line. And then right away, they would assign you a BIN number. So this is one thing that you can check with them. And if you don't have one, you can go ahead and create one. Equifax is also another one that is used mostly for cash lenders. And they will assign you a number. I believe it's a 9-digit number. It's an EFX ID. And this is the number that identify your business. So these are the three agencies. These are the three major agencies, because I'm going to go to other agencies that also report. But anytime you apply for credit, or you apply for a credit card or a mortgage or a car loan under your business, if your business profile is not created here, then they will probably go to the secondary on the other less used agencies, credit bureaus that report, like FD Insight. This is also, it supplies information on liens and judgments to creditors. And this is also for business. One of the things that I wanted to mention in some of this is that I wrote that they're part of a data miner called LexisNexis. LexisNexis is a third party who reports bankruptcies, judgment, liens, is a huge company in the US. In fact, most of the information on your personal credit reports, like Expedia, Equifax, TransUnion, comes from these people. And guess what? Most of the information that they report about you, they never have the 100% certainty and clarity as to how they report this information. My first experience with LexisNexis was about 15 years ago. I pulled my report and it was 135 pages. I almost flipped out of everything that I saw there. That is my information, and this company is making money and selling it to the credit bureaus, to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So the good news is that there is a law that protects you, and you can freeze the information that they can supply to the credit bureaus. I don't want to get too much into this, because this is one thing that I will be discussing on Friday. We are having a webinar on personal credit and the things that you can do to delete any dealing with collections and a lot of misinformation that is in your personal credit. And I'm going to be discussing, I'm going to go deeply on how to freeze these third parties that report to the credit bureau, so that this information doesn't get to a place where it does damage to you. But these are third party reporting agencies. Also, this is what conforms the business credit bureau. I wanted to take your attention to PayNet. This is the leading provider of credit rating for small, like very, very small businesses. So you may already have a profile on PayNet, but there's something that you can go also and check. And I know many of you may have a lot of questions, but we're going to get there at the end. Priscilla is going to be opening it up for questions. So building the credit. I'm going to park here for a little while on this slide. When you building the credit, your business credit, remember how I said you start from the bottom. You're going to go get at least 5 or 6 vendor account. This is where you start. You don't start with anything else. You don't go and apply for a car loan or get a car loan, or you apply for a mortgage to purchase your commercial property or do anything unless you start here in building your strong credit profile. So a vendor account is a credit extended to your business, like I said before, based on net 30, 60, or 90 days. Make sure that these vendors that you are applying for credit with, make sure that they report to the credit bureaus, at least to the ones that you want to build a strong profile. Because some vendors don't report, and some vendors, it takes them a little bit over 3 months before they report it. So you have to look at their terms and condition before you apply for credit. Do not apply for all 5 or 6 accounts on the same day or even the same week. Expand it to at least 2 to 3 weeks. That way it's not looking as an inquiry on your report, or it doesn't look suspicious. So never apply for all of the credit vendors right away. 3 revolving account. You should at least have 3 revolving accounts. Revolving accounts are lines of credit, credit cards, limits, credit limits that you make payments. You'll set up a payment and you make it on a monthly basis. That they give you that option. You can pay it off at the end, just like credit card works. Make all your minimum payments every month. But I always suggest that when you get started and you get your first credit card, the best way for you to get a high end report is that you use it for a certain amount, not above a ratio of 30%, but use it and then pay it all at the end of the month. Pay it in full at the end of the month if you can. And have at least 1 loan that reports, it could be your bank that reports to the credit bureaus. It could be a small amount that you just go borrow to your bank. You know, you may have a business account with $5,000 in your bank, and you want your bank to lend you $4,000 or $2,000, whatever it is, that you can go to your bank, the bank that you do business with, and apply for a small loan, just so that you can go ahead and have that reported to the credit bureaus, and so you can create a strong credit line. So remember, get at least 5 or 6 vendor accounts. And vendor accounts, guys, is the easiest thing to set up. I'm going to discuss even more when I go and I show you exactly some of the ones that I've worked with. The revolving account do not happen before you apply for the vendor account. The vendors is the first thing that you get. Keep in mind that some of these accounts take them 2 to 3 months to report. So depending on how large the company is and how fast they report, read the terms and condition, ask questions before you even go ahead and say, this is the vendor that I'm going to use to start building my credit. So these are some of the vendors. JUMPLers it's simple. It may not sell things that apply to your business, but there's always things that you can buy that are useful. This is a net 30 within 30 days, and then they report to DMV. The way that you do it, you start by applying, you go to their website and you start by placing the order. I recommend that if you've never purchase anything on credit, or if you're just starting from the beginning, I recommend that you place a $50 order or something and pay it, create the account, pay it in full, and then come next month, put another order. And then when you get to where it says checkout, then at that point, when you're checking out, at that point, you, instead of clicking pay, or you click on open account, and that way it'll give you the options. Most of the time, everyone is approved. Uline, it's one that a lot of people work with. You can also open a UPS as a vendor. I happen to have DHL. You can use also FedEx. And these are all agencies, these are all vendors that report to the credit bureaus. Now, building it in 60 days. I just spoke to you on the way that you can build a strong credit profile, starting with vendors, we're moving on to the credit cards, and then moving on to the car loans and mortgages. Remember, there's always a way that you start in creating a business, strong business profile with all of these credit bureaus. It has to start with the vendors. Get at least 6 vendors. Revolving accounts, 3 revolving accounts. Reporting to the credit bureaus between 25,000 to 50,000. This is if you want to do it in 60 days. I want to keep this clear. What I discussed previous had no personal guarantee. It's just strictly you doing business under your tax ID number, using your business information, going through the checklist, and seeing that everything is covered. Now, if you want to build it in 60 days, I've done this many, many times. Never fails. If you go ahead, open 6 vendor accounts, establish those 6 trade lines. Those trade lines will move you on into applying for a credit card. Now, once you apply for a credit card, because you're doing this in 30 days, then within that period, you want to go and open a credit card. If you want to do it within that period, you're going to have to use personal guarantee. You need a FICO score of at least 680 in order to do it at that point. This is not a formula or anything that anybody showed, or now this is something that we have done over and over and over, and doing it this way, it has worked. When it comes to the credit bureaus, sometimes some things work and some things don't work. But the way, what I'm showing you here in these 3 steps in doing it in 60 days, it has always worked. So keep the payment of those credit cards on time. Even if you can pay it all at the end of the month, in the next 30 days, you always get that credit profile increase. So following these steps, I know that many of you may have a lot of questions, and I'm going to open it for questions and discussion for any special situation that you may have tried with your business or that you may have. So creating, in summary, creating a legal entity or your profile that has legit information. Remember, these companies and these vendors, they look for what is called red flags. And they want to know if you're just not a home-based business that's going to be in business today and gone tomorrow. So they want to know that you have a telephone number and an address, telephone number that is listed, an address, to establish credit line with suppliers. You're going to need your profile in this with the credit bureau to reflect that you are a legit business. So when you are giving them information, when you are giving the vendors the information, make sure that all those things are as we discuss here, because they are looking for the information that creates a red flag. And if it creates a red flag, right away, you'll be denied the credit. So request your EIN number, which comes with, or when you create your legal entity. At the center, we have someone that assist you in the process of creating your legal entity. That is, if you're just a sole proprietorship, if you're just doing business under your social security number, you can now go ahead and register your organization. Your business address and phone number, remember, it must look legit. Open a business bank account, because they will ask you, who do you bank with? That's another information that they will ask. Get your DMB number, which is free at dmb.com. Establish credit trade lines. Remember, vendors and suppliers. This is where we start. Get your business credit card, which is the next step. Keep the vendor's payment on time. Every time you pay on time, your score goes up and you create a more strong profile. So I'm going to open it for questions now. Priscilla, this is my email. If you have any questions, you can either call the center or send me an email. I don't promise you I will respond the same day, but give me a couple of days and I would send you, I will respond to you. So that's carmenmorris1@gmail.com. Priscilla, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so do we have any questions? So I would like to answer your questions now on what we discussed, and this presentation is going to be sent to you also as well.
Okay, so I'm gonna just go based off some questions from Joelle. She had the vendor account seems like unnecessary expense if you don't have an actual business need for these services. Why would a service-based business need a UPS account?
Why would a service what?
Why would a service-based business need a UPS account?
Well, you do, if it's not a UPS account, it could be a Quill account, it could be Cramblers, it could be other accounts. I'm just giving you a few samples, but a service business account will be, at least I have a service business. That's what I do. I offer services and I use DHL, but I send information to clients. But you don't need to have this account if there's no need for you. I'm not saying for you. I said in the beginning that there's many vendors. So you go search the one that applies to you, even if you just have to buy packing envelopes, tapes, and stuff that you use in your office. Whatever it is, remember, this is for you to build your business. It's not for you, which one is the better need? That you have business credit, or that you have 5 envelopes that you can put on top of your desk and see what day you can use it?
Okay, she did also says you're recommending 6 vendor accounts, but only provided 4 as an example, 2 of which are competitors. Can you provide more examples?
Vendor accounts, there's many vendors account out there. Staples, there's thousands of vendors account in there. So I'm not going to give you a specific one. I just use this because I've been using it for years. But there's tons of vendors accounts. I would not give you a specific one that you can go use. And I'm not even saying that you should use the ones that I'm saying here. I'm just mentioning them as an example of what you can use. So whatever pertains to your business, then search for a business account, for a vendor account that provides you business. So if you are in business, I'm sure that you're using vendors. Even if you provide services, you must use vendor, because you must buy material or something somewhere.
Okay, so there's a question from James. I am starting an AAU basketball program. What kind of vendors would I really need? I would only require a vendor that creates the jerseys and shorts.
Yes. Then those are the vendors that you search for. Where are you getting your supplies and material? Who is providing you? See, we are small businesses. We have needs. We purchase supplies that we use in our businesses. These are the vendors. thousands of people that will sell, vendors that will sell t-shirts. See their terms and conditions. See if that it's something that you can be useful to start creating your business profile. If you do the search, I guarantee you, you come up with at least 30.
Okay. Let's see, Rebecca. If you register a business and this business is closed, does the DNB number remain active, or how do you close it?
If you register a business and the business is closed, then that DNB, you need to contact them. You need to contact them and close that also as well, because the business is no longer in existence and you cannot attach another business to that DNB number.
Okay, let's see. This is from D. Charles. What if you filed for bankruptcy in 2013? I had business credit cards and had to be a personal guarantor. However, I've built my credit back up since then.
Okay, I don't quite understand the question. Was your bankruptcy reported in your business profile?
D. Charles, if you can please answer. So, yeah, all he has is...
Can you open the microphone for him or her? Because I like to answer that. That looks like a very specific question. I need to know the details in order to give him a correct answer.
Well, yeah, it's the same one he posted here. He says, I'm a home improvement contractor, and you filed for bankruptcy in 2013.
Okay, who filed for bankruptcy? Did you file for bankruptcy or your business file for bankruptcy?
Charles, if you can, D. Charles, if you can answer that question, we can try to help.
Can you open the microphone for him or her?
I allow, yeah. Charles,
Yes.
you can explain.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
I just need to know.
Doing?
Yeah, I just need to know who filed for bankruptcy. Was it a personal bankruptcy or business?
It was a personal bankruptcy, but I had my business underneath because I was a personal guarantor for the business credit cards. So I had to file those too.
Okay. So did you have a DNB number already for your business?
Yes, I have
okay.
DNB number.
What I need you to do, Charles, I need you to pull your credit, and then I need you to call the office and set a conference call with me and Priscilla, and I will tell you how to deal with the bankruptcy if it's on your business report.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, because it's a long, I can go, if it's in the personal, I can tell you, I will be discussing that on Friday about personal bankruptcies on your personal, getting rid of bankruptcy on your personal credit report.
Okay, that's great. Okay. Wonderful. No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's a question from someone, it says anonymous, but they ask, how can we get a business email for free? Carmen, do you want to answer that? I think that's
yeah. Well, you can get a business email, but you need a domain name. I mean, right. a business email, GoDaddy is the easiest place to go to.
Yes. You can get a domain name for about $10, $15.
Yeah, $15, even $9 sometimes. It's very simple to get that. Remember,
and you can get an email service, or you can use a service such as Google G Suites, which you pay $5 a month for the service.
And it's very inexpensive. Guys, remember, you have to keep your business profile very legit. So it'll make you look stronger in the presence of lenders and vendors and anybody that wants to give you credit. Any other question?
Someone, Carlos Fernandez, do you have any recommendations for a voice over IP phone number?
A voice over IP phone number, is it listed anywhere? See, what they're looking is for a listed number. That your business is listed, that your business number is listed. That's what they're basically looking for.
Okay, he said thank you. Let's see. Okay, Charles said I did. I think we have some
Any other questions? Any other question? I see a lot of, okay.
Yeah, as Joelle had some questions. So let me go through.
Yes, you will get a copy of this presentation. That's one of Joelle's.
Okay, so I think Joelle is saying that only 4 vendors were listed for shipping and receiving services, and they're trying to search. I guess she's trying to get an idea of some other vendors, since you said that there is about 30 of them. Like, where would they go to get a list of vendors?
Google. Okay, can you ask that person what services they offer?
Joelle, can you post what service do you offer? Are you still with
Guys,
us?
Google would give you vendors. Vendor should not be an issue to obtain a vendor.
All right, I'm not sure. I think Joelle left. Okay, so we have a question from Kenny J. Is it harder to establish business credit as a sole proprietor?
Yes, it is. Because lenders and vendors don't feel that is a large business they're doing business with. They just look at it as a one person, one-man shop. So this is why we have had problems in the past with sole proprietorship. This is why we say stay away from it. And plus, a sole proprietorship, when you do your taxes, you still have to link everything together. So it's not going to be completely separate from your business. I mean, you can do it, but it's going to be linked to your personal.
Okay, Rebecca asked, you mentioned that a UPS address is not accepted. Is that even if the UPS is an actual address with a suite number? So I guess she's referring to those.
Those are personal mailbox.
Mailbox.
Yeah, those are personal mailbox. Those are PMB. That's what that's considered. So if you're doing a virtual office and you have, this is the difference. If you have an address with like Regis or any other like incubators or share space office, it's different because they see it as a physical location. But UPS is the same as the post office, is a personal mailbox.
So Carmen, I would like to follow up with that question. So, you know, I myself have a UPS address, and that is actually you get a physical address. So that's what the
you get a physical
address.
Let me give you an example.
You just give you a suite number at the end.
Yeah, they give you an address. Vendors don't like that. You could have that today and gone tomorrow. And let me just tell you one example. I was dealing with a company who presented themselves to be huge, and we had even a contract negotiated and everything. Guess what? Before I even signed the final contract, I looked at the address in California even Google Earth, and I saw it was a UPS address. And guess what? I decided that I was not going to do business with that company. So just how I feel in doing business, in rendering services to some companies, uh, vendors do the same way. And we noticed through the years that UPS personal mailboxes, when you are developing, when you are establishing a strong credit profile, go by that list. Stay away from some things because they are red flags to the vendors and the creditors. I mean, you can try it and see if it works for you, but I doubt it.
Okay. All right. So we have a question from Latasha. Latasha asks, what type of vendors would I need to look up for massage services?
What are the things that you use in the what are the supplies that you use? What are the products that you use? What are, if you're putting a product together, let's say raw material, what is it? Guys, when I say vendor, a supplier, a vendor, it could be just anyone, just that you have to look at the terms and conditions that and make sure that they report to the credit bureaus. That's what you're looking for. If you have a massage, you probably buy massage tables, right? You probably buy oils, you probably buy all different things that your business uses. Priscilla, I will email you a list of other vendors that you can, the office can choose to give it out, but not because I'm saying you got to go use them. I don't specifically say go use this vendor.
Okay. We have a message from Kimi. Kimi asked, I just got 2 loans for my LLC, an EDIL and SBA loan.
The SBA will appear. You got to give it time, a year, in about 12 months.
How will these business credit be affected by, how will my business credit be affected by these loans?
It'll be beneficial to you. It's a credit trade. So that's it. One of the things that I was going to say is that with the loans that are being given now, the EIDL, a lot of people are going to have a credit trade, a trade line created on their credit.
All right, so we have another message here from Kenny. Kenny says, should you work on improving your personal credit before establishing business credit?
Well, the key here is that you don't want to link your personal credit to your business credit. It's always good to have your personal credit to fall back on in case you're applying for a loan in which they will require you personal guarantee. This is what I recommend. I recommend that you build them strictly separate, that never attach yourself. The reason we don't attach ourselves to our business is because of liability, guys. It carries a lot of liability and damage because anytime anything goes wrong with the business, it goes right on your personal credit also as well, because the creditor or the lender is going to go after you personally. So you don't want to link them. Yes, you should work on your personal credit as well. You know, to keep a healthy score of 7 to 750. So you should always work and see what's in there that doesn't belong in there. But your business credit should be strictly separate. It should be completely separate from your personal. And you should work on both because they're both equally important.
Okay, Lashana says, I tried to go on to smartbusinessreports.com and it's not free to research yourself. It's owned by Experian and costs $39.95.
No, there is a free, they need to, there is, if you have business, do you have business credit? Do you have a profile? Ask her if she has a profile. They have to give you 1 free report a year.
Lashana, hopefully you heard that.
if you don't have a business, if you don't have, if you
He
don't
said
have
no.
a number,
He said
if
no.
you don't have a BIN number, you're not going to get it. But that's actually a good thing right now, because you're going to start from the beginning and you're going to start correctly with all the things that I recommended here on this webinar. But if you don't have a credit to pull, they will not, and you should not pay to pull out your first report. You have to remember, these agencies, the credit bureaus are capitalizing on your information. There are laws that protect you in the business aspect of it. They're not as hard as in the personal. In your personal consumer credit, which I will be discussing on Friday, there's so many laws that protect you as a consumer. And there's so many ways that you can get all that junk of your credit report. Things that are not supposed to be there, things that even the credit bureaus themselves, they send you letters and they say, we confirm the information. That's not true. Nobody opens those letters. When you're disputing something with the credit bureaus, this is done through computers. The answers that you get are done through computers. This is why you keep a strict record of when you send it, how much time, the statutes of limitation for everything. In business, it runs the same way. There's laws to protect you, but they're not as hard and it's not as strict as the one in your personal credit. So what I recommend is that you look at both of this credit, and if you don't have credit, if you don't have a business credit profile, it's very simple for you to start building that today. But don't provide your personal information. Try to have your business stand strictly on their tax ID number, their name, the business address, all of the information that you put in there, the face of your business, your logo, all of your information. Make that solid with that list that I provided there for you. And then on your personal one, I always suggest that people look really good into the laws to protect you against all these agencies that are making millions and millions of dollars based on your information, private and public, because your Social Security is private, but I guarantee you many have it out there. So if they're capitalizing on your information, then you make it hard for them. Then at least they should be right. But the law protects you when it comes to your personal consumer credit. There's a lot of laws that you can go in and apply and make sure that they go by it.
Okay, we have a question from Kimi. One t-shirt vendor I pay COD to did not approve my company for credit. Is there a way to negotiate a credit approval from them?
Absolutely. It was that the first order you placed with them?
Kimi, you can answer that. He said no. They said no, sorry.
Okay, so if you place the first order and the second order and they deny you for credit, of course you need to talk to a manager. You need to make that phone call and say, hey, I've been doing business with you for this amount of time. So I would like you to give me net 30, at least 30 days or 15, whatever it is that you want to ask, just and make sure that they do report to the credit bureaus. Because some small companies don't report at all.
Okay, Michael, or hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. The question is, sorry, you may have covered this, but I missed the first 15 minutes of the presentation. If you are a new business, a startup, how do you go about establishing business credit and a bank account? Do you advise opening a regular account and use it for your business? Or is it advisable to specifically open up a business account?
You should always open a business account. On this presentation that is going to be emailed to you, you're going to see where it gives you the what to do list. You register your company with your state and local authorities. You get your tax ID number, which is the information that in order to create a Dun & Bradstreet, get your DMV number, you're gonna need all that information. You get a physical address not a PO box address. In fact, some vendors don't even accept PO box addresses. Even if it's a physical office, some of them have a way, Priscilla, because you said, oh, I have a UPS suite. Some of these vendors even have a way to say, okay, so this address, this is a UPS suite or an address. So it's not a physical business, it's just an address that, a virtual address. So what you do is, I gave all the steps in the beginning. You register your business, you look at create the profile and go through the checklist and make sure that all the information that you're providing, it's always in line with the checklist so that it looks legit, that it doesn't create any red flags to the vendors. And that's the first thing that you do, but you must always open a business account. Never ever use your personal account for your business.
Okay, question from Rebecca. Some lenders ask for your personal social security number when applying for a loan, that is PPE loans, and some reject loans due to personal credit. How can I avoid the use of my social security number?
By creating a business credit profile. Create the business credit profile, and when they ask for the information, you're not providing yours. You're providing your tax ID number instead of your social security number. You provide all of your other information in your credit profile. If it's solid, remember they're looking for legitimacy of the information. It has to look legit. So by creating your business credit profile will avoid from you having to provide the PG information to any bank, the personal guarantee. Banks would always try to get that personal guarantee. It's not necessary. If your credit is strong, if you have a strong business profile and strong credit of at least 65, 75 and above, you will be fine. You will not need to use your personal guarantee. And the key here is that you want to separate your personal credit from your business credit. I see this over and over and over again through the years. It always ends up bad. When you're using your personal credit for your business, it always ends up in overloading you on your personal credit. So you must, at all costs, you must try to keep that separate. If a lender asks you for that personal guarantee, move to the next thing. Go to the next lender. You always make it clear, no, I want my company. So is there a problem? This is my score is 75. You can go shopping with that. If you say my score is 75, so what is it that you're looking for?
I think you just answered the latter part, because she did says, even though an EIN number with all the business information, including payroll information, is given, they still ask for your personal social security number.
Well, one of the things, is this the, is this the SBA loans and PPP? Are you talking about this, the COVID-19 assistance that is going on? Is that what you're talking about right now?
Yes.
Okay, now the reason this is going on, let me just explain. This is a complete different situation. The reason this is going on, that it wasn't going on as much during Sandy as it is going on now, is because the amount of scams that are going through, it is extremely, extremely high. So even the loans that are being issued now, the SBA has the department that calls you and speaks to you and goes through the questions and ask you about your personal also as well. It may not, that may not be that they're using your personal as a personal guarantee, but but if they cannot pull credit from your business that is not solid, the next thing they'll do is that they'll go to your personal. but they mainly doing it because of scams that are going on.
Okay, Lashana is still having issues with smartbusinessreports.com. Lashana, probably you can follow up. She's
Okay, Lashana has, did she, I asked her if she has a business credit profile.
and she said no.
Then she would not be able to pull or tell them, well, I need my credit because you're entitled to get one free. Do not pay the $39. Do not pay it.
Okay, now she's saying according to DNB, I do.
So you have a DMB number? Do you have a DMB number?
Yes.
Okay, so if she has a DMB, then she can pull the DMB is not free. That's DMB is not free. If she has a DMB number, she can pull her report. She can request one.
Okay, so she's aware of that. She says it's expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need it. You don't need that unless unless you already know that you're working and creating that profile. But you can get the information that you have on your profile and update it, Lashana. You can go in and pull out all that information and request it from them in writing also as well. They will work with you.
Okay. All right, is there any other questions? We still have about 15 minutes or so. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post it. All right, Michael says, will banks work with startups by allowing them to open up a business account if the business have not generated much revenue?
Absolutely. The bank doesn't have to work with you for a business account. You can just go open a business account with even $20. All you need is your certificate of formation and take it to the bank and have your tax ID number and everything, and just take it to the bank and go open an account. They'd be more than happy to open that account for you.
Michael, are you a new business? Have you started a business yet? A lot of your questions seems to be, I know they might be addressed with our first step to entrepreneurship.
Oh yes, the Q&A, yes. But I invite everyone to join us on Friday. At what time is the webinar, Priscilla?
I think it's 10 a.m. Let me double check on Friday.
I will be discussing a lot of things pertaining to your personal credit, how to deal with collection agencies.
Yeah, 10 a.m.
At 10 a.m. If you only knew that you do not have to pay collection agencies. They don't have the right to go after any debt. As long as you don't acknowledge it, they don't have the right. So I will be discussing that in bankruptcies and way to get rid of stuff, garbage on your personal credit.
You're welcome, Rebecca. Okay, Rebecca said very informative. All right, so if there's no other questions, James says, wow, does it affect your business credit? The collections.
Yes, it's listen, collections, there's a lot of things you're going to find out on Fridays about collection agencies. And how you can get rid of them. So remember guys, it's as important that you work on your business credit as it is on your personal credit. when you're doing business, one of the downfalls of small businesses is working capital. It always affects a business because you always need money to continue working in your business. Working capital is very, very needed in a business. So one of the reasons many businesses go out of business is because they hit that point and they don't have the credit, they don't have the necessary information that they need and the business credit profile that they need in order to obtain the funds from any lender. But if you do that from the beginning and make sure that you keep that number at least above 65, you would always be able to continue to work and move on and grow your business. Many businesses are not able to grow because they don't have access to capital, because it's very hard for small business. In the beginning, we use our own funds. So, and it's hard for us to get our hands on any type of lending. But if you build a strong business credit, you can start right there. And on the other part, with your personal credit, it's very, very important, because this is how they judge our character, with our personal credit. I know a lot of good people and are decent and good people who just don't have any information and don't know how to deal with the information, with the delinquent information that they put on their credit unjustly, because they judge your moral character based on your credit, and it's not fair, and these people make money out of that. So I think it's time that everyone gets to find out how they can deal with this and put a stop, at least on their end, as to how they can use their credit smart, how they can, if they want to play the game of credit, okay, so let's play. Let's see who's going to win. And I can tell you that as a consumer, the law is on your side. So take advantage of that. So if there are any other questions, Priscilla, you take it over.
All right. So, so for those that have additional questions, you would like to speak with one-on-one with a counselor to help you as you try to build your business credit, please feel free to reach out to the SBDC here at Rutgers-Newark. We will be able to, if you're in Essex County, we're able to assign you a consultant. If you're outside of the county, we would refer you to your local SBDC, who will be able to provide the same consultant services to you. So all you simply need to do is visit our website, which is www.rns, hopefully it's on the screen, I think. I don't know if everyone is seeing it, but rnsbdc.com, and simply request in the top right-hand corner, click on the button and click on request counseling. Within 24 to 48 business hours, we assign you a counselor to assist you with any questions that you may have concerning building business credit. For those that are on today's call, please sign up for the personal version of this webinar, which is going to be on Friday. So Carmen will be covering building your your personal credit. As we all know that sometimes, as she mentioned, you may have to personally guarantee some loans or additional debts, and your personal credit should be in order to be able to do that. So please feel free to sign up. You can sign up via our website or go to Eventbrite and sign up for that webinar. So again, our information is on the screen here. Feel free to contact us, and you will be getting a copy of today's presentation and the recording of the presentation in your email within the next 48 hours. So if there's no other questions, I would like to thank Carmen for taking the time today to present us this information. and I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to attend the webinar. We hope to hear from you soon. Have yourself a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye.